Please put your hands together.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are gentlemen. I think it's ladies. So, you are so brave to attend the graveyard session, and they actually invited me as comic relief. So, the one thing I want to make very, very clear that I know zip about reading. You're not in the wrong class. Well, if you opted for that thing on the left, literacy is a pipe dream when learners lack perceptual motor development. If that's what you want to hear something about, you're in the right place. But if you think you're going to hear about reading, you're in the wrong place, because I'm not going to talk about reading. I know zip about reading, but I know everything to get you there. Okay, so ek vat jou na die drempeltjie toe, but I don't take you over. Okay, the previous speaker did that superbly. So, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you are grade R teachers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, listen to me. That is the problem with reading. Who should have been in the session? Because if we get it right in grade R, you will get it right in grade 1, in grade 2, in grade 3, and grade 4. But what happens in many, many schools, grade R is a mini grade 1. So who's doing the grade R school, the grade R's job? Nobody. So how do you see that? The learners that are coming through. So, sorry for you, in my class, no shoes. Please take off your shoes. This is grade R. We're going to have a class. Yeah. No more talking. No more talking about education. No more talking about getting ready for reading. Now we physically do it. It's not summer, ladies. You can take off the shoes, and then we're going to talk about what are perceptual motor skills. Actually, the minister was brilliant. I could kiss him. And it's as though but I don't think he would appreciate that. He looks very proper. But I could, because he demonstrated perfectly what perceptual motor skills are. What did he say? What was his first 6 months, or however, 100 days? It must be 3 months. What was he doing in that period? He was listening and learning. That's perception. Perception is in and process before you out, which is motor. Okay, and that's the sum total of this afternoon's lesson. Okay, lecture. The rest is going to be a grade R lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to work with me. I know it's late. I know you're tired. But if we don't experience this session, you're going to waste your time. Not mine. I'm going to have fun. And I would love you to have fun with me. So, put down the papers, put down the writing stuff, put down the phones, put it down. In my class, we look and we listen. You see, grade R's, Mikeys, the thing is, when you're in grade R, how old are you? 5. Let's count. Wonderful. And when you're in grade 1, how old will you be? Shall we count? Clap. Fantastic. Watch. Preschool, primary school. Preschool, grade R, grade 1. And what's in the middle, Cyril? A big gap. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do here, what happens to our learners? They fall down here. Hear me, ladies and gentlemen. You may be wasting the session because it's not for you, because the session is aimed at grade R. And if you are a remedial teacher, and if there are learners that you need to remediate, the session will have value. It is aimed at grade R, because reading readiness leads up to grade 1. Okay, whoa, we're gonna have fun. What day was yesterday? What day was yesterday? What day is tomorrow? What's in the middle? Okay, does this day have another name? Called? Wonderful. Today, let's go. Listen, how many claps? How many? Listen, Saturday. How many? Ooh, this is definitely the advanced class. Okay, so I'm in the middle between and... You're smart. Today, remember I told you, I'm sorry. Remember I told you, in my class, we're going to do a little bit of big school work because I want you to be so ready when you leave for big school that you leave so far that they need to look for you because you are so ready. But for that reason, we have to play a lot, and that's why we can't wear shoes in grade R. And that's why we can't have tables and straight lines in grade R. Because if we don't move enough in grade R, what are we going to do in grade 1? Catch up on moving. And in grade 2, catch up on moving. And grade 3, catch up on moving. And the thing is, my class, what many grade 1 and 2 and 3 teachers don't know is they don't know that the brain wants you to move enough to enable you to sit still. When you can't sit still, there's nothing wrong with you. If I say sit still, if you could, you would, wouldn't you? But you can't. And medicine doesn't work for that. Medication helps if there's a chemical hiccup. Medication helps if you've got a headache. But if you are developmentally, oh, what a big word. Who knows what that means? Who knows what developmentally means? Hey, you come on. Somebody's parents must be teaching at Stellenbosch University. I mean, we are. And they talk these big language words at home, don't they? What does developmental mean? Let's break it down. Develop, what does that mean? Does that mean growing? Is growth and development the same thing? I'm leaving the great art teacher there for a moment. Is growth and development the same thing? Not at all. A plant grows, it increases in size. A child grows, it increases in size. But development is something completely different. Development is about what? My toes or my brain? Oh, it's a little bit about both, but it's very much about the brain. Are you with me, teachers? Are you with me? So, back, my class, you see, the moment I go to my class, I'm so happy because this is a place where we can play. Yes. So I want to tell you a new story. I want to teach you a new rhyme today. And the rhyme is about Ollie the octopus. What on earth is that? What's an octopus? Who knows? Huh? We can't talk about words we don't know. Oh, what was that? I don't know. She's putting out some beautiful moves. Where do we find an octopus? In the ocean, yes. Is the ocean, what is the ocean? It's a lot of water. It's huge. When you stand on the one side and you look, I come from Joburg, I look at the ocean all the time when I come here. But when you look at the ocean, can you see the end? Well, it depends where you stand in Cape Town, because sometimes you can see across Falls Bay, you know. But let's talk about ocean in general. You can't see the... It's huge. But what else lives in the ocean? Sharks. Oh, what do you know about sharks? Ooh, they're vicious, hey. Yes, and what else lives in the sea? Fish, and what else? What do your parents like to eat sometimes? Prawns. Do they live in the sea too? Yes, but an octopus. Has anybody ever seen an octopus? No, you have. So tell me what it looks like. Who's going to tell me what it looks like? It's got lots of legs. Do you know how many? 8. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 limbs. What's a limb? Arms and legs are limbs. Okay? We use them to move. So an octopus has 8 limbs. They're not really arms and they're not really legs. They're mixed up. Okay? They arms and legs simultaneously. But do you know, and what is the shape of the octopus like? Is it a triangle? No. It's called a globe shape. Okay, what is a globe? No, not like this. It's like a ball, hey? Yes, its head is like a globe shape. So the rhyme goes like this. Just listen. It says, Ollie the octopus lives under a log. From spot to spot, it leaps like a frog. Okay, now if you were really in grade R, you would be leaping like frogs on the floor now, okay? That's why we need space in grade R classes. We can't have tables and chairs because they need to move, because if they don't move enough in grade R, how do they sit still in grade 1, 2, and 3? Okay, so Ollie the octopus lives under a log. From spot to spot, it leaps like a frog. What comes next? I wonder. What do you think what comes next? With 8 long limbs to grip and grasp. Is it grasp or grasp? Grasp, to grasp. Okay, do you know what it does? It catches fish. A fish in the pot. Hey, at last. Are you with me? So this is a little story about an octopus called Ollie. And you know, what is his name? What do you hear in the name Ollie that is also in octopus? It's not an R. It's an R in Ollie. My class, in grade R, it's not an R. It is the R in Ollie. And it's the R in octopus. Are you with me? It's the in and the. And where do we find that R in Ollie? In the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? And octopus? And pot? Your perceptual skills is phenomenal. Well done. But why don't I show you pictures? I don't want to show you pictures. You know, the miracle thing about reading is actually to create your own pictures. It's not to be shown. You see, leave the teacher for a moment. Colleagues, one of the biggest problems, other than the absence of grade R teachers this afternoon, the other problem is we think reading is predominantly visual. It is not. Come and argue with me, man. I like a fight. Think about it. I say reading is not visual. It has a small facet, but reading is predominantly auditory. Okay, clap with me. Oh yeah. Check the enthusiasm, ma'am. Okay, clap with me. I can hear your hesitation and I appreciate your honesty. I would also be hesitant at this stage, but I want you to think about it. Is Worcester a town close by? Is the school for the blind in Worcester? Are there people in that school that can read? But you said it's visual. Can blind people read? If it's visual, they can't. Braille is not visual. Braille is tactile. Reading, hear me. Reading is predominantly auditory. Reading is predominantly auditory because we need to take oral language, convert it into funny symbols, and then what do we need to do? Be able to read it back. We need to decode it. Isn't that so? Yeah, of course it is like that. But where's the gate? I tell you, the problem with the code is you have to encode before you. Yes, that's not rocket science. Think about it. You have to encode before you Decoding is phenomenally important. But if you don't know the code, how do you do it? I'm quickly going to rush. I'll get to this just now. I want to show you that video quickly. So I'm a very fortunate person, and passion has taken me all over the world, seriously, all over the world, just because I love children. I was born with a love of children. I had 54 dolls as a child. Don't think fancy dolls. But I had a classroom full of children. I wrote for all of them. It nearly killed me. So I'm very used to big classrooms. Okay? The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stand it when children suffer. And I cannot stand it if they can't learn, if they can't read. Because if you can't read, how do you learn? There are many other forms of learning. But how do you progress in life? We can't keep on failing our children because we are not. The children aren't failing. We are failing our children. So I was in Istanbul recently with a Russian production team to do a series of documentaries on the importance of gross motor development and to develop outside equipment to really develop the brain. Because when God created us, He gave us all the need to move. Ne? Is that true or false? Do babies all move instinctively? Unless there's a problem with the baby. Do all babies move instinctively? Do you know why? Because that's how the brain is wired. Nature doesn't ask, are your parents rich? Nature doesn't ask, are your parents literate? Nature says we can't rely on all of those things. Let's give all children the ability to listen, to speak, and to move. Is that natural? No. Don't agree if you don't agree. Okay, let's have an honest conversation. I'm not talking about babies with problems. I'm talking generally speaking. Is it natural to be able to listen, to speak, and to move? Yes, it is. Is it natural to read and to write? It's a learned skill. And somewhere, the code, somewhere between what is natural and what is learned, our children are falling through the cracks. Because, hear me, if a child cannot listen and understand the language of instruction in a classroom, it is child abuse. I categorically state it. It's child abuse to expect that child to learn to write and read. If they cannot understand the code verbally, where are we coming from to expect such a child to jump into a complicated, unnatural process like writing and reading? Listen to the sequence, writing and reading, but I'll get there now. So I was in Istanbul. Not in Turkey. I was in Istanbul, in Turkey, but I didn't say anything other than Istanbul. And this was our guide. And I am an obsessive reader. When I walk in here, I've read everything in this hall a couple of times today. Why? Because I'm an obsessive reader. I'm curious. And when we got there, this was at Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. And I was standing there, and this was our Turkish guide. And I said to him, what does it say? Yeah, I've got this finger. What does it say? And he said, I don't know. And I thought, oops, how did I miss it? I didn't know he's illiterate. And now I was really curious, and I wanted to ask, but it's not polite, but I still asked. So I said to him, so what language is that? And he said, it's Turkish. And I said, then what nationality are you? He said, Turkish. And I said to him, so how come you can't read Turkish? And he said in the 1920s, 1923, there was a revolution in Turkey. And up until that time, they wrote using the Arabic code. And then from 23 onwards, they started using the Roman alphabet like ours. So he was standing there, a literate, intelligent, catch this, it's the only thing you need to catch from this session. A literate, intelligent Turk looking at Turkish script, but unable to read it. Why? He couldn't read the code. So I hope you can hear it. I recorded him and he was very embarrassed, you'll see.
Yes. Okay. What you see here is the language is Turkish, but the letters are Arabic. What you see here is the language is Turkish, but the letters are Arabic. So, after 1923, the revolution in Turkey, the alphabet also changed, so we moved to the Roman alphabet. So now I can't read these because I don't read Arabic. But if someone knows Arabic can read these, he won't understand. But when he reads these, I will be able to understand what it is written there.
So you heard that? What did he say? We need the alphabet to be able to read that, hey? Okay, the alphabet is a code. So if a child draws a picture, any picture, and you ask them, tell me about your picture, can they read their own picture? Yes! Whose code was that? So if I give that same child a piece of writing, will they be able to read that? They're in grade R because that's my frame. No, they won't. Why? Whose code is that? It's somebody else's. It's not theirs. So they need to acquire, you need to learn the code. You need to learn to encode before you can decode. Are you with me? Do you agree? Hesitantly so? Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go. I'm teacher again. Okay, so what I want you to do is imagine you are Ollie the octopus, and we're going to draw Ollie the octopus. But I want you to understand something, that every letter in the whole wide world starts on you. You're most important. You're incredibly important. Do you know that some children who battle with to read and write, if you ask them questions, they'll tell you the letters don't stand still, the letters move. They turn. They move up and down sometimes. Sometimes they move like this. Sometimes seriously. Our research has shown that all over the world. Children who battle with reading very often say the letters don't stand still. Well, there's a longer story, but I'll get to the longer story just now. So we are going to write the letters of the alphabet, and every single one of them is going to start on you. You, very, very important. All the letters in the whole wide world starts on you. Wouldn't that be magic? So let me show you how to do that. So we do Ollie the octopus. Draw it with me. But you need to start on your heart. Where's your heart? It's right in the middle of your chest over here. So we're going to start on your heart. Okay? And then we're going to go up and to the left. To the left. Up and to the left. And what are we writing? And when we get to where our legs start, we quickly come back up to the heart. Okay? So this is the for Ollie the octopus. And what does he do? From spot to spot. So for Ollie the octopus, from spot, circle to the left, another one. Start at your heart, small one. From spot to spot, he leaps like a frog. So how many an octopus have we done? 3. Okay. And then, with 8 long limbs, he and grasps, he sucks. What's that word? With 8 long limbs, he sucks and grasps. Yeah? 8 long limbs. Let's quickly draw 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. What happens next? The last little bit is in the pot. What was the last line? Can you remember? Come on. Ollie the octopus lives under a log. From spot to spot, he leaps like a frog. With 8 long limbs, he grips and grasps. And a fish in the pot. At last, yes. So with those long limbs, he gets a fish in the pot. That's marvelous. So now we've got a picture. But we want to know how to move from the word in Ollie and in octopus and in pot and in rock, and so you can go on. But where does it sit on your body? Because I told you, all the letters in the alphabet starts on you. Okay, so can you please take out a piece of paper? In my class, I would have given you a workbook. And I quickly need you to take a page and divide it into 3 rather equal bits. Okay, if you are obsessive compulsive, leave the ruler. Okay, just the top bit, the middle bit, and the lower bit. And then you draw one big head at the top. You draw a body, ma'am, that was not a suggestion. Can you please do that? And then the legs at the bottom. So we've got a section from the top of the head to where the neck starts. The next section is from where your neck starts to where your legs start, and then all the way down to the ground. Are you with me? We've got how many sections? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 parts. There's a head part, a body part, and feet. Wonderful. And remember, quickly look. What do you see? Can you see the, oh my word, I hope in this group it's going to be different. In the previous group, I got very interesting answers here. Can you see the eyes and the nose and the mouth? Thank you. Somebody said yes. In the previous group, they said yes, and I thought, oh my word. So there's no eyes, no nose, and no mouth. Why? He's looking in the same direction that you are. So he's looking towards the paper. And his left or her left would be your left. So on the top left-hand corner, will you draw me a little lion? It doesn't have to be a fancy line. Just 2 dots, a line down, just like a smiley face, and then lots of lines for the lion's hair. Because why am I putting a lion there? To indicate lion left. You got it. Lion left. Yeah. And on the right, take your red crayon and do a red dot. Why a red dot? Why not blue? Red, right. Yes, lion left, red, right. You've got it. And now, draw me where your heart would be. Yeah? Are you done? And now, when we want to write the A in Ali octopus, teachers, forget capitals. I'm in grade R. Okay, forget the capitals. We're not even going to do all the letters of the alphabet, because in grade R, they just need to get it, that the pictures of sounds are consistent. They live in a place. And the R in Ali octopus lives to the left of you. Always. When you go to sleep tonight, where's the R in Ali octopus going to live? To the left of you, to the left of your head. No, to the left of your heart. Okay? So with your finger on the heart on your page, start on the heart and go up and to the left, up to where the neck starts. Go down and turn where the legs start and stop where? Where the heart. And what have you just done? You've grade R, but you've just written what? The R in Ali octopus and the R in Ali and octopus. Yeah. Are you with me? If you feel clear at this stage, you would be dishonest. If you feel, what the heck? She did say she was comic relief. Maybe it is comic relief. No. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spent a tremendous 38 years research into enabling children to bridge the gap. And the gap has to be reached in grade R if we want to succeed in grade 1, 2, and 3 and meet our developmental goals for 2030. We have to do it in grade R because let me tell you why. Oh, yes. If you want to win the entire program, it's 1,500 Rand, it's the entire program, all the materials and online learning, quickly send a WhatsApp with just a full stop, just a dot, quickly to that number. There's a random thing, and then they'll tell me who won the entire set. So it's a 076 01 21 690. And I promise you, we will send you information a bit more about this, the way of working. I'll send you this entire lesson once off, and then you can tell us to go away. But I just want to give you a little bit more information that is possible in this hour. So quickly send it there. They'll let me know just now who has won the prize. Okay, are you done? Okay, CC, are you done? Okay, must I show you the number again? No, man, you've got it. You're my advanced class, remember? Okay, phones down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side, you see grade R learners playing. No books. On the right-hand side, what do you see? Children with books reading. Okay, there are no words in there, but just ignore it for a moment. It's a picture. But what's in the middle? A raging river. And unless, can I quickly ask if there are questions before I go on? No? So, unless we somehow put some stepping stones to enable learners to cross the river, they may not reach the other side safely. And if they are swept down by the river, what's going to happen? Are they going to be hurt? Physically, emotionally, cognitively? I don't know. I think so. So what is the very first stepping stone? It's a child needs a body map. You don't have to write this. I'll give you all of this. Okay? They need a body map. What's a body map? We think the brain sees the body. The brain is blind. Only the eyes can see. The brain has no clue what you look like. And for that reason, the child needs to move a lot to feel what they've got. Because the brain can only control what the brain is aware of. The brain can only control what the brain is aware of. So if a child draws a drawing like the one on the left, would we ask that child to sit still? Of course. Can you see that child is floating up in the air? Can I tell you what that child's writing? I didn't add it, include it. But do you know what that child's writing looks like? Like that, in the air, and it constantly turns. And then we can consider that the child may be dyslexic. The child is not dyslexic. The child is underdeveloped. The child is lacking perceptual motor development preschool. So the brain doesn't know what the poor child has. Can you see? There are no feet. And neuroscience has shown us, if the brain doesn't know where the feet are, you can't figure out where's left. You can't figure out where's right. You can't figure out where's forwards or backwards. Do you know I've done research? Did I tell you I was in Turkey with a Russian team? Did I tell you that bit? Okay, so our combined research included a lot of research with cosmonauts. They call them cosmonauts, those people flying up in space. And do you know that cosmonauts, when they come back to Earth, they've got calluses on the top of their feet? Did you know that? Calluses on the top of their feet? Why? Can't be 5. I can't stop in 5 minutes. I'm sorry. So, why do they have calluses at the top of their feet? Because they float, because it's gravity-free. So they hook their feet. Why? Yeah, to know where their feet are. Because otherwise it's reported that they get very slow, very disoriented. Listen to me. It is reported internationally that astronauts or cosmonauts become dyslexic in space. Why? Oh, I love the word. I can't tell you, I started crying the day I read it. They become dyslexic in space. They become. But on Earth, they're not dyslexic. And I thought, there's a gap. I need to understand the gap. And that's what I spent my life understanding. That if you don't know where your feet are, you can't figure out the code. If you don't know where your feet are, you can't decode because you haven't found the code. So how are you going to decode what you haven't found? Are you with me? Look at that other little girl. I can tell you, man, head girl. But she knows where her feet are. Look at these. So the first map is the brain needs to know what you've got. And it needs to know all of it, otherwise it can't use it. The second map is not only look at the way these children stand, look at the feet. Can you see the body awareness? Can you see the laterality? Can you see how solid they are? But not only are they solid, can you see they're within an environment. They didn't just draw themselves. Because everything we read is in context, in an environment. A map of the environment gives context and boosts comprehension. If you don't know what text is about, if you don't understand the context, true or false, it's very difficult to understand what you're reading, especially if you're a beginner reader. So at the Magnus Institute, we said, so in preschool, children need to learn in a fun and multisensory way, moving most often in a clever way, not free movement, to develop a body map, to develop laterality, to cross their midline, to develop muscle tone, to develop spatial orientation, to develop a sense of rhythm and timing. Has any of this got anything to do with reading? To develop a sense of direction and sequence. Reading is all, and writing is all about direction and sequence. In which direction and what comes first, what comes second, isn't it? But you develop it on the jungle gym. You develop it when you're playing outside, not when you sit with your butt on a chair, or try to sit on the chair and do a worksheet. And then you need to develop auditory and visual perception and language and vocabulary. So in this program, what I did is I took some of the letters of the alphabet, that's very frequently used, to enable the grade R child. I create little dramas, and the little dramas set them up to hear certain sounds, but it's an experience, like the letter G for ground. I'm sorry, I'm Afrikaans, so obviously you can hear I'm doing this wrong. Where would the G and grond, where would it start? On my heart. Why? Because every letter in the alphabet starts on me. And then where would we go? And to the left, and we're going to up, and then to the ground, and towards gravity. And we talk about ground and gravity. Oh, the great R. Oh, we underestimate them. We underestimate them. Part of their lesson is they take their shoes and they must throw it up as high as they can because it must stay in the air. You will see them throw. So, and they throw, and they duck, and they throw. It's eye-hand coordination. But they're learning something profound. They're learning about the pull of gravity. And they're learning that everything goes down ultimately. Because if they don't understand down and that my feet are down there, they're not going to understand anything else, and they will not learn to read. The third map is the map for every letter of the alphabet, because it starts on me. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So we teach the child, it's a comprehensive program, but I'm teaching you something because most of you can use this in a remedial environment. Ma'am, I'm rushing. I'm going to finish as quickly as I possibly can, okay? So we divide a paper into 3 equal bits. Okay, the one represents the head, and I know there are many other ways. There's a cat, there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. Our way, based on neuroscience, is we have to include the feet. We have to plant the feet. Why? Because if we plant the feet, we're floating in the air. And when we float in the air, letters can turn in any direction. And then we present like dyslexic, but we're not. Okay, so we've got 3 sections, horizontal sections. We also, so there's a line below the chin. The second section is from the legs downwards. And it's very interesting. I was really reprimanded because I use where your legs start as a measure. But I said, what about children who've been molested? And I said, you know what? This is actually a desensitization. It wasn't intended like that. But the moment this area becomes the area where letters fit, it also deals a little bit with what happens over here. My heart for children is massive. There are many levels to what we're busy with. I'm giving you the simple version quickly, not because you're simple, because there's limited time. You know, not only do they need to know the head space, the body space, and the leg space, they need to know left and they need to know right. And for that reason, we've got lion left and red right. And they need to know where their heart is. But we don't do it quickly. We take minutes. So put your hand on your heart. feel your heartbeat. You don't have to do it now, but we do it with children. It is a phenomenal discovery. They didn't know they can feel their heartbeat. And all of a sudden, they've got a current location. They've got a place on a map. And now, I am speaking about a writing program for grade R's. I am not talking about reading. I'm saying, let's teach children to break the code in grade R in a fun and perceptual motor manner, and we teach them that all the letters that start to the left of me is taught first, and then all the letters that start in the middle of me second, and then all the letters that start are shaped to the last. Okay? So please draw the F in Fox in the air quickly. In front of you, remember, you can't go higher than your head because the model says you must, it doesn't want to, it's spoiling my fun. Where would you start with the F? You know what is natural, to start to the right and then come down the midline because it looks like that's where the line belongs. It's wrong. What's the rule? But now the F is a tall letter, so it's not going to start on my heart. So sometimes letters can start on my head, and sometimes it starts on my heart. Are you with me? So where will the F start? On my head and then go up and to the left and down. And where are we going to stop? On the ground? No, am I? And then, if I go to sleep tonight, where's in Fox going to move to? Is it going to stay there or is it going to move? He's going to stay there because this is where in Fox lives. It's from my head and to my left, your left. And then we draw the line. Okay, quickly. Let's quickly think. Let's do an egg. Okay, where would you start? Is it a head letter or is it it's a body letter? So on your heart, and then where are you going? To the right, and then up and around, and you're going to stop, neck level, and then? Are you with me? You see, this will not gel easily with the way that you teach reading. It shouldn't gel. It shouldn't gel. Why, ma'am? It is not a reading program. It is a perceptual motor program that teaches children the code so they can break into other people's code and they can own it. Because the letters, where would the A go? To my left or to my right? Where would the B in buck go? Where would K and cat go? Where would D in dog go? Where would M in melody go? Where would L in light go? This is such an advanced class. You've got it. Do you get it? Children, if you watch children play, 2 more minutes, ma'am. If you watch children play, what do they do if you give them time and you say, go play? And they're with other people. They take forever to create the rules. And then there's a small period of time that they play. What do children love? Rules. And the moment they understand, but there's a rules to the code of writing, do you know what happens? When they go home in the afternoon, we say, you know that in Ollie Octopus? Go find a book this afternoon, and then you show your mom. You can actually spot it in a book. And you know what is my dream, ladies and gentlemen? From the most phenomenal province, I'm from Gauteng, and it's a marvelous place to be. But Western Cape, I admire you for your guts, for your leadership, for the direction that you're taking. Western Cape, you can make such a difference, but we have to do it in grade. Thank you very much.